Rise of Iron produced a handful of underwhelming exotics, but on top of that, several of them were in such a poor state at launch, it was laughable. The now great Frosties and the still not so great Astrocyte verse were completely broken at launch, with neither of their exotic perks triggering anything of significance. Both exotics have since been changed, but have they changed enough to warrant use? Well, in the case of the Frosties, absolutely yes, but in the case of the Astrocyte, not so much. So what does the Astrocyte actually do? Besides being a Warlock exotic helm with rerollable perks, the exotic perk grants a boost to recovery after blinking, so we are locked into using a Voidwalker, since that is the only Warlock subclass that features blink, which also means we're directly competing with several other Voidwalker specific exotics, like the Nothing Manacles, the Obsidian Mind, and other partially specific exotics, like the Voidfang Vestments, the Claws of Ahamkara, and the Ram. The viability of this exotic will greatly depend on how often you use the Voidwalker class, let alone how often you use Blink. Now I've been known to use Blink in PvE sometimes, but never for serious content, so not in raids, but maybe in strikes or Prison of Elders. But the exotic perk grants bonus recovery after blinking, so it points towards a defensive build that requires you to run away and disengage, not really going hand in hand with an aggressive and unpredictable movement style like Blink. So personally, I would overlook this exotic in PvE, mostly because using Blink is a novelty there, and the bonus it provides is far too niche for that environment. Not to mention, when it comes to recovering health in PvE, the Voidwalker already has many ways to trigger health regen. Anything from melee hits, grenades, or super kills will give you chunks of health back, which really isn't hard to do against adds. I will say though, using Astrocyte in PvE can be pretty fun with a full health regen build, since it allows you to play super aggressively, even recklessly at times, and get away with it since everything gives you health back and does it faster with Astrocyte. But in a serious environment, Blink is really going to be the all-around ideal choice. Alright, so PvP it is. For this reason, I rerolled my Astrocyte to have Ashes to Asset and better already, with an average stat roll of 104. If you can go tier 12 with this helm, then by all means go ahead, but I wouldn't go spending crazy amounts of glass needles trying to get there. Since Blink is definitely more tuned to the Crucible, it would seem that the Astrocyte verse is too. But how much bonus recovery does the Astrocyte actually give you? Well, after blinking, you will get bonus recovery for about 3 seconds, which will not refresh if you blink again before the internal cooldown is finished. So what does this mean? Your health will regenerate very quickly for a few seconds after blinking, but actually getting the full benefit from this regen isn't all that common. If you time your blink right, you can pretty much go from a quarter health to full health in about a second, or in some cases, you may not really notice much of a health regen increase at all. So anyway, how would I recommend using this exotic? In the Crucible with a blinking Voidwalker obviously, but with other health regenning perks, like Lifesteal and Embrace the Void. Couple this with an aggressive playstyle, such as Blink Shotgun or Fusion Rifling, and the Astrocyte will pretty much let you ignore recovery as a stat, since it's going to be enhanced all the time. Is this exotic worth using over other Voidwalker specific exotics in the Crucible though? Probably not. But it will depend on how aggressively you play, how often you blink, and how you like to distribute your recovery in the skill tree. The Astrocyte actually has good potential in Destiny, but I feel it's misplaced as a Warlock exotic. Since Warlocks can already spec for a high recovery build, and have so many internal and external options for health regen, the Astrocyte would have fared far better as a Hunter exotic. That idea may not be popular with everyone, but since Hunters cannot physically spec for a high armor and recovery build like the other two classes, an exotic that works with blink and recovery would be welcome on a Blade Dancer. So to wrap it up, if you like to mess around with blink in PvE, then Astrocyte might be fun. And if you're a compulsive blinking shotgunner in PvP, the Astrocyte could help you with your playstyle. But personally, if I was going to play as a Voidwalker, I'd more likely run with the Ram, Obsidian Mind, Claws, or Manacles. Thanks for watching guys, catch you on the next vid.